You mess with time, it tends to mess back. You'll see.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my new Avengers Marvel video. Marvel just announced a whole bunch of schedule changes for Marvel Phase 4, so we'll break it down and explain what it means. They shuffled a bunch of different things, so now the movies are coming out in a different order. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. We'll do a new Disney Plus giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and let me know which Marvel Phase 4 movie you're most hyped up about. But just starting with the big stuff first, right after Marvel released the WandaVision trailer just a couple days ago and revealed that it would be airing episodes by the end of the year, everyone got really pumped up. Yay, finally some new Marvel content. They quickly followed up yesterday by announcing that they were delaying the Black Widow movie officially to next year in 2021. See what they did there? They tried to butter you up before they give you the bad news. And it's not just a minor delay. The new release date for the Black Widow movie is May 7th next year. Cue the Thanos Scarlet Witch meme.
You took everything from me.
I don't even know who you are.
Seriously, it's crazy. I'll explain why they did that in a second. That's a crazy delay. But on top of that, because they gave that May release date next year to the Black Widow movie, it also meant they had to delay the Eternals movie and the Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings movie to later next year. It's not all bad news though. Everyone looking at Spider-Man 3, someone check on Peter Parker Spider-Man and make sure that he's okay. Protect Spider-Man from all these movie delays. So the good news is that right now, the only movies that Marvel has delayed during Marvel Phase 4 are those three that I just mentioned: Black Widow, Eternals, and the Shang-Chi movie. Every other Marvel Phase 4 movie is still coming out, at least right now, when they said it would a little while ago, including Spider-Man 3, Venom 2, the Morbius movie, technically Marvel movies, but some of those are core MCU movies and some are just connected to the MCU movies by Spider-Man. Looking at you, Sony Spider-Verse. So number 4, the obvious question that you're all asking is why did Marvel do this? They just hit a grand slam with that WandaVision trailer. They actually reported that it got almost as many views on all their social media platforms as an Avengers movie trailer, so everyone is crazy excited about WandaVision. Turns out, if you deprive people of new Marvel content for an entire year, they'll be a little bit excited when you actually do release some new content. But the main reason why Marvel decided not to release the Black Widow movie in November like it said it would earlier this year was because of a little Disney movie called Mulan, and also Tenet, so you probably see where I'm going with this. If you haven't been following the news, Disney conducted a big grand experiment with the Mulan movie a little while ago. They released it on Disney Plus through a special pay tier called Disney Premier Access before they released it in movie theaters, where you could pay an extra $30 on top of your regular Disney Plus subscription fee to get the movie before they actually dropped it in theaters. There were some countries and places around the world where they did release it in theaters where theaters were open, but there's still a lot of big cities where you can't actually go see a movie in a theater yet. It got all kinds of news from the press, but apparently, based on Disney's behavior with the Marvel Black Widow movie, they probably were not totally happy with the combined Mulan Disney Plus earnings and the box office performance. It did terribly in China, where they were hoping that it would be a banger. Turns out, not so much. I didn't bother to do a Mulan movie review just because I felt like most of my subscribers probably wouldn't be paying to see the movie on Disney Plus, so there wasn't much of a point in me posting a video about it. But on top of the debacle with the Mulan movie just a little while ago, all the other movie studios in Hollywood were looking at Warner Brothers and Christopher Nolan's Tenet movie, which had been in theaters for a while now, and it has also been bombing because, as you could guess, no one is going to theaters right now. Also, most theaters are limited capacity to 25%. Later this year, they'll open that up a little bit more, but even then, were theaters to sell out their maximum 50% occupancy limits, all the big movies in October and November would still probably bomb. So Marvel and Disney are like, F that, we want our money back on this $150 million movie. And because of a lot of contractual issues with theater owners around the world, they're almost forced to release it in theaters in some way. So they just decided the best option would be to delay the Black Widow movie to next year on the hopes that most people would actually be going to theaters by then. But why May and not February? Because there's a lot of movies that were supposed to come out in February next year. The Eternals movie was originally coming out then, right after the Black Widow movie. Disney and Marvel probably pushed Black Widow to May, just assuming that things would still be bad in February, so it's kind of a pessimistic but realistic take on their part. So then number 3, that created a domino effect, making them delay the Eternals movie to the end of next year and Shang-Chi to summer in July. Why did they rearrange Shang-Chi and the Eternals though? Originally, Eternals was supposed to come out before Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. We all know that Marvel movies have to come out in a certain order because of the way all the post-credit scenes and overarching Infinity Saga-style stories connect with each other. They're doing the same thing that they did with the Marvel Phase 1 movies, connecting them all with this big overarching story leading up to the next big Avengers 5 story. But based on what they just did, I think we can all assume that there's nothing in the Shang-Chi movie post-credit scene that spoils the Eternals movie, so changing the order of those wouldn't mess anything up. And also, certain types of movies, certain genres, make more money at different points in the year. For instance, traditional big action movies tend to do better during the summer months. That's why Black Widow and the Shang-Chi movie are summer movies. You already know what's going on with the Black Widow movie, we've seen a bunch of trailers, but the Shang-Chi movie is kind of like Marvel's version of Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon. The actor who plays Shang-Chi even described his character as being like Marvel's Bruce Lee. So huge kung fu action movie, I'm sure it's going to be awesome. There'll be a bunch of Iron Man Easter eggs because the Mandarin, the main villain of that movie, is a core Iron Man villain. The whole concept of the Ten Rings organization and the Ten Rings of Power also showed up throughout the Iron Man movies. The reason why the Eternals movie is coming out in November is because originally, if you don't remember, it's been 84 years since they announced their original Marvel Phase 4 schedule at Comic-Con. That movie was originally supposed to come out in November 2020, before the first big movie delays, so they'd already planned for it to be an end-of-the-year kind of movie, and it's a big cosmic, mythology-heavy movie like the Thor movies, and they mostly released the Thor movies in November. I know there's been a lot of questions about how the Thor stuff will connect to the Eternals because the Asgardians are so long-lived. Like, if Odin has been alive for tens of thousands of years, the answer to that is probably yes. He probably knew all about them. But number 2, on top of those movies getting new schedules, they've also changed the release order for the Avengers Disney Plus shows that are all supposed to cross over with the Marvel Phase 4 movies. WandaVision is just the beginning of that later this year. Originally, Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to release episodes starting in August. Obviously, that's come and gone now. It would have been the first big Marvel Disney Plus show. Then they would have done the WandaVision episodes. Now the reason that WandaVision is coming first is just mostly because there are spoilers for the Black Widow movie ending in Falcon and Winter Soldier. It just trades heavily on stuff that they set up during the Black Widow movie. Falcon is picking up the shield from Captain America, so obviously that takes place after Avengers Endgame. Black Widow takes place in the past between Captain America Civil War and Avengers Infinity War. So the main reason why Falcon and Winter Soldier probably spoil stuff in the Black Widow movie is because of what they're setting up in the movie. Early prediction is that that's based on the other Thunderbolts and Weapons Plus Easter eggs and casting announcements. The best theory is that Thunderbolt Ross will just have some sort of Black Widow post-credit scene where he has a very Nick Fury Iron Man post-credit style scene where he appears and teases that he's setting up a new team, quote-unquote, and that team will just wind up being the Thunderbolts in present day after Avengers Endgame.
I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
Samuel L. Jackson has also teased that he's going to be doing the same thing from that Sword space station, but that won't play out till a little bit later in Marvel Phase 4. But number 1, I know you're all asking, 2020 has been such a crap year, what's going to happen for the next couple of months before we finally make it to 2021? So next month, the bright ray of hope is that Disney Plus will start releasing the Star Wars Mandalorian Season 2 episodes. That'll be 8 episodes total. Then they'll start airing the Avengers WandaVision episodes. Originally, that was only going to be 6 episodes for a miniseries, but there have been reports that they may have added extra WandaVision episodes, which would be great. Marvel probably won't reveal all those details till the next month or two. They'll probably use The Mandalorian Season 2 to start promoting WandaVision more, so that's when we'll start seeing more trailers for that. But because of these couple Marvel movies that they just delayed, we probably won't see the first Marvel Eternals trailer until next year, but they might release the Shang-Chi movie trailer before the end of the year. Big takeaway is that it's not quite as bad as it sounds. There's going to be so many Marvel movies and comic book movies next year, so hopefully that will make up for the crap year that we've had during 2020. But if you have any big questions about what's going on with the Marvel movies or the Disney Plus series, just post them in the comments. Click here for my new WandaVision trailer video and Avengers Easter eggs, and click here for that new Ghost Rider Marvel Hellstrom trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. This is The Way.